I'm going to tell you a story today from God's holy book about a Samaritan woman at a well. One morning, when Jesus was coming in from a long journey, he stopped at an old well. The well had been built many years ago, many hundreds of years ago, by Jacob, an ancestor of the Israelites. The well was old in Jesus' day, and it's quite old today. I understand that a traveler can even get a drink of water today from Jacob's well. It was early in the morning, and Jesus was tired, and he had stopped to rest at the well. He was thirsty also, and he had sent his disciples into a nearby city to buy some food. And he looked into the well, and he saw that it was deep, but he had no rope nor a jar to get the water. And just at that moment, in comes a Samaritan woman with her jar on her head and a rope. And Jesus knew that Jews barely talked to Samaritans, but he asked her anyway for a drink of water. And the woman, looking at him, knew from his clothes that he was a Jew. And she said, "How is it that you, a Jew, ask me, a Samaritan woman, for a drink of water?" And Jesus said to her, "Woman, if you knew who it was that asked you for a drink of water, you would give him living water." And the woman says, "How is it that you're going to get water out of this well? You have no rope." And Jesus said, "Whoever drinks water from this well will thirst again, but whoever drinks the living water that I shall give them will never thirst." And the woman says, "Are you greater than Jacob, our ancestor, who also drank from this well? I want some of this water, some of this living water, so that I won't thirst anymore and I won't have to come to this well again." And Jesus looked at her and he said, "Woman, go home and get your husband and come back." And she said, "I have no husband." And he said, "You speak the truth. You have no husband, but you have had 5 husbands, and the man that you are with now is not your husband." And the woman knew that he had said things that no stranger should know, and she perceived that he was a prophet from God. And she asked, "My people have worshipped on this mountain for centuries, but you, the Jews, say that we should worship in Jerusalem." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, the day will come, and it is near, that people will worship God from other places other than this mountain or in Jerusalem. And they will worship him in spirit and in truth." And she said, "The Anointed One is coming, and when he comes, he will tell us all things." And Jesus said to her, "I who speak to you now am he, the Christ." And just at that moment, the disciples returned, and they were shocked to see Jesus speaking to this Samaritan woman. But they said nothing. And she left and went back to her village to tell the people to come and see this man who has told me everything about my life. While she was gone, the disciples entered into a discussion about the harvest with Jesus, and they also wanted to get him to eat some food that they had brought back. But Jesus told them that he had food for the soul that they knew nothing of, food that would save men's soul. And Jesus told them, "But the fields are white. The grain is full, ready for harvest to win men's souls today. And just as they had finished discussion, in came the Samaritan woman and many of her friends from her village. And they asked Jesus to stay and teach them and to go to their village. And he did. And he stayed 2 more days to teach the Samaritans about him. And because of that, many believed. And many said, "We now know for ourselves that indeed this is the Christ, the Savior of the world."